Welcome to the 2009 Ride Around Clark County. If you're looking for a friendly, well-supported, and uncrowded experience, the RACC is for you. The weather in the Pacific Northwest in early May is reliably wet and cold, and today was no exception. And the ride started shortly after a torrential downpour had drenched the streets. And facing a warm, wet southwest wind, I was lucky enough to have a few riders pull me towards the first hill. After the initial climb, you face about 10 miles of flats through suburban Vancouver. Luckily, I was able to fall in with Fast Eddie, a stalwart member of the Vancouver Bicycle Club. Fast Eddie is one of those gregarious riders who smiles and chats while he's setting a leg-breaking pace. At about mile 13, after some ups and downs on some extended rollers, there's a nice 200-foot descent to the first rest stop at Heritage Park on the shores of Lacamas Lake. After leaving Heritage Park rest stop, you'll follow Lacamas Lake for about 5 miles. Although the lake is a pollution disaster, on a day like this, it is beautiful, at least in a brooding Twin Peaks sort of way. For about the next 20 miles after you leave the lake, you'll have 3 ascent-descent combinations of a couple of 100 feet each. In between these 3 hills, you'll find either flats or a few steep little rollers. As you can see, these hills are not steep. In fact, they're more like very long, extended false flats. So you can gain a lot of speed on the downhill, and the ascents are not killers. While these ascents are not exactly steep killers, they are long, and for us non-climbers it can be kind of a grind. The second of the 3 climb ends with a nice 1-mile descent into Hawkinson. This descent is not steep, but it is fast and it is straight. But beware, there is a stop sign at the end of it. After passing through Hawkinson, you're going to have a few miles of nice flat roads. On either side are horse farms reminiscent of Kentucky. But eventually the road pitches up again for yet another gradual grind of a climb. The road doesn't look steep, but there were definitely a few times when I was out of the saddle, especially near the top. But once again, the reward is a nice, long, fast descent. At about mile 36, the metric century riders turn left and the full century riders turn right. And I've got to say that left turn looked mighty tempting. But I signed up for the full 100 miles and I might as well get my money's worth. At about mile 39, you cross over the beautiful East Fork of the Lewis River, and at the end, you turn right onto Lucia Falls Road to begin the 400-foot climb to the Molten Falls rest stop. While you will climb about 400 feet on Lucia Falls Road, it's really more of a falls flat than a steep climb, and it is punctuated with a few ups and downs. It's also punctuated with a few nice views of the river. And before you know it, you are at the rest stop at mile 47. While rather Spartan by some standards, the rest stop is staffed by extremely friendly people, good food, and even an unusual, tasty concoction known as trail putty.